Alright, what's going on everybody, it's Liam here and welcome to today's video on the channel. I hope you're having a great day, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the current state of max level PvP. Now, I feel like every week I make this commentary, however, this one is going to be a bit more direct, and I don't think the state of the game is that great right now, and it kind of pains me to say that because right now I think we actually have a pretty decent meta, not terrible. Every school is semi okay, some are overpowered, right? Every meta is going to be like that. But I think right now the player base is just really tired of King's Isle's shit, for the lack of a better term. And we're starting to see that kind of reflect, in the numbers and, over on Twitter, Discords, yada yada. We're seeing less and less people play, right? Now, right now, we have like 8 warlords at max level, which is pretty good. However, I think 6 of these are the same person. So, if we subtract about, maybe not 6, maybe like 4 or 5, but still majority is only one person here. Compare this to a couple of seasons ago, I think we had maybe like, I don't know, 10 different warlords, and this player only had like 2 or 3 of them. So a lot of the PvP player base is not enjoying the game, and especially the high rank player base. I'm not sure what it's like at the lower level, recruit, yada yada. You guys play a whole different ballpark of a game down there. I will admit it's a lot more fun to play at like recruit and stuff like that, doing cool strats and stuff like that. But this video is going to be talking mostly about the high ranked metas and kind of how the game is played for the most part. Now, I'm going to divide this video into a couple of sections. I'm going to divide it into stats. I'm going to divide it into players dwindling and quitting. And I am also going to divide it into the lack of incentives. So starting off with the elephant in the room, and I think this affects pretty much the entire PvP community, that is going to be the fact that there's not really much to play PvP for, whether you're a warlord or a recruit, there's not really much to get. There's only the battle pass, which again, the battle pass is pretty good, right? The battle pass has some pretty nice awards in there. Can't take that away from King's Isle at all. However, modern day gaming, you just can't have a battle pass and then expect that to stick and work. You gotta have like challenges, you gotta have cool stuff to grind for, you gotta have like weekly, bi-weekly, challenges and cosmetics, even like event-based cosmetics as well. It's pretty good. And King's Isle just doesn't really have any of that, And if we also look at the PvP rewards, they have not been updated all of 5th Age. They dropped Marco at the launch of 5th Age, and that's pretty cool. Again, I like the new arena and stuff like that, and Marco. However, we have not gotten these updated at all, and there's nothing cool to go for, cosmetics wise. I think a majority of the player base will agree that this new gear set, it was a huge step down from commander gear. Some players don't mind the warlord robe, which is what I have on right now, or like the warlord cards, as you can see here as well. They're not terrible, right? But like the hat and the shoes are just so unusable and not great. Also, keep in mind, right, this is for warlord, right? Warlord is extremely hard to get right now, and I do like that. However, with the current state of the game and how I guess the queue economy works, is there's not very much difference from a captain, marshal, and a warlord. The only difference from, there is a bit of a skill gap from captain to marshal, I'd guess, but a marshal is the same level as a warlord player for the most part, And getting from marshal to warlord 1900 to 2k basically has nothing to do with your play. It has to do with how you queue dodging, not trying to get Q sniped or anything like that. And that's all it is. It's things are so toxic with all the Q sniping and the Q dodging. It's really bad, and people can't even get the 2k even though they are equally skilled players. And also, talking about the Q economy, we're seeing knight level players that are martial level players, but they don't have a reason to play every season, right? You maybe play to get your rank reset. Like, I got Warlord, so I'll be reset to Marshal next season, right? That's the only thing you're playing for, is for an inevitable reset, you know? Besides that, there's literally nothing to play for, you know? Players know they can't get Warlord because the elo system is way too punishing, and the rewards aren't that good. Also, we have a huge Q sniping, Q dodging, sniping problem, whether you're a streamer or just a casual player that's, you know, a higher rank on the leaderboard. So what this does is it really hurts the elo system with martial level players not ranking up because they have no reason to, right? So when, you know, I'm going for Warlord on my Storm again, right? A good example would be Banana, right? Now, if you guys don't know who Banana is, she's a nice main. She's been Knight, like, I think, majority of 5th Age. Correct me if I'm wrong. But she decided to try this season, and I think she's, like, the highest rank Ice right now or something. She's, like, 1940, right? Just because she started to play and try. And she didn't play or try before because there's nothing to play for, right? And I imagine if there's nothing to play for, she won't keep going for rank because why the hell would you, right? So that's a perfect example of what I mean right now, is basically the fact that we have all these equally skilled players not playing because there's nothing to rank up for, right? And once you hit 1900, that's it for a lot of the players, right? You see majority of the player, well, sorry, not majority, a lot of the higher level marshals, or, you know, players, they just sit at Marshal because they know there's no way they're going for Warlord with the current Q economy and with all the Q sniping going on right now. So I guess that point was two things, talking about Q sniping and incentives. But what I'm saying here is if we have better incentives to get those equally skilled players ranked up to where they should be, that will help the Q economy, help the Q be a lot more lively, and help more people get to Warlord, therefore get, you know, some of this gear that is in the game, you know? I also think we need just a lot more stuff to play for, whether it's challenges, new gear, stuff like that, pets, mounts. We just need all that stuff really desperately right now. Next thing I want to talk about is the stat problem. Now, the stat problem I'm going to be talking about here is going to be stat distribution on a couple of gear pieces, and also talking about the Rochambeau wheel and King's Isle's bias to not enforce it. So I'm going to throw the Rochambeau wheel up on screen right now. In case you do not know what any of this means, basically, Fire and Myth are no longer a damage school, they're a Pierce school. Storm and Death are a damage school now. Then you have Ice and Death and Myth being a resist school, and then Storm, Fire, and Life being a health school. That is the new Wizard101, whether you like it or not. Storm and Myth, or sorry, Myth and Fire are not a damage school anymore, according to the developers and the Shambo Wheel. And what we're seeing right now in the current meta is the best schools are the best schools that are the ones that get all four of these stats. So I'm talking schools like Myth. I'm talking schools like Balance. I'm talking Death even. Death's not bad. We're talking Life. You know, Ice is not bad either right now as well. And then you have, what do you know? Storm and Fire coming in at dead last as well, you know? Now, Fire isn't that bad right now, all things considered in the meta. I think, Fire is only bad because A, it doesn't counter Myth good enough, and B, Life is so broken to the point that it indirectly hurts Fire. But aside from that, Fire is a pretty damn solid, you know, really good school right now. Got a huge stat buff with the Novus update, so not terrible, all things considered. But the problem is you have these schools, right? I'm Myth. I have health when I'm not supposed to have health. I have damage when I'm not supposed to have damage, right? I have all this resist, which I am supposed to have. I have a boatload of Pierce, what I am supposed to have, right? Really good crit, you know, just perfect stats literally all around the board. You know, timeless, priceless stats, just the best of everything, right? But then you look at the wheel again. It's just Pierce and resist. So you have Pierce and resist, but then why the hell do I have health? Why the hell do I have damage, right? Now, the developer's excuse for this is always TPP. And again, I am acknowledging the fact that TPP is a huge deal. However, if they want to make this, you know, balanced, you either need to go the full way with the Shambo wheel, or there needs to be bigger gaps in DPP, right? A good example right now is Yaga doing the same as Rasolka, either quite literally or proportionally, you know? And also, Myth has like all betrayals and 40 buffs as well, which makes their buffs just superior to Storm when Storm is supposed to be like a buff school. It makes no sense. So yeah, my point there was to illustrate why these schools are the best. They have all 4 of these stats, and on the Shambu wheel, as you can tell, they're only supposed to have 2 out of 4 of those stats, but they don't. They're breaking their own rules. They're having all 4 of them. So, you know, that leaves you with, you know, Storm and Fire getting the short end of the stick, right? You have health, but you don't have health. You have healing, but Fire doesn't even have healing, and Storm healing just, it's decent, but it gets stolen or countered, and then you die, right? So it's kind of weird, you know? You're just missing so much identity on Fire and Storm. I feel like right now, you know, Storm's the glass cannon school of Wiz, but we lost our Pierce, and they gave us healing, but people don't want to heal, and the heal gets stolen so easily, so it like doesn't even work. And our health is still like so bad compared to the other schools. It's just not great, you know? So I'm gonna throw on the meta Storm build right now, real quick for y'all, and we're gonna look at these stats and compare them to Myth. Okay, so I still have less health, even though I'm supposed to be a health school. I have about the same damage as Myth, even though I'm supposed to be the top damage school in the game, but that's kind of odd that Myth has it. Myth has 15 more resist, you know, more health, the same damage, a better crit block ratio as well, way more pierce, and way more P-serve, stuff like that. They don't give up anything compared to Storm when Storm already has bootleg stats in the first place. Kind of like Fire, but Fire stats aren't as bad as Storm ever since the Novus Gear Aeon update. So what happens when KingsIsle does stuff like this is players just completely ditch the bad schools like Storm and maybe Fire, and they just hop on a Myth, maybe a Death or a Balance, because they know they're gonna do the same damage as these supposed damage schools like Storm, you know? If I can Yaga somebody for the same as a Rusalka, why would I play Storm? I don't want to heal. The buffs aren't better on a Storm. Myth has better buffs. Why would I play Storm? If you're Rapier right now, why would I play Storm? If a Yaga literally does the same as a Rusalka, like 33% and 33% of each other's health, right? But Myth is way more forgiving to play, has better matchups, is way better in the school. Why would I play Storm right now? There's no reason to, right? There's no reason to. And the card says it does more, but it literally doesn't. So this is just a simple flaw with the KingsIsle's current gear design and stuff like that, you know? If you send a Rusalka, you expect that thing to do way more than everybody else's Shad. And it does, like, numerically. Like, you know, if an A-bomb does 2.4 and a Rusalka does, like, 3k, yeah, you did more damage. But sometimes you don't even, like, proportionally do more damage. Or sometimes it's just equal when it shouldn't be equal because I'm 4,000 health behind almost, you know, with 50 resist. It's horrible. And way less block. It's so bad. But yeah, my point is these bad schools, nobody wants to play them anymore. And especially when Storm lost their identity with Pierce and now they have healing, just people don't want to play Storm. They'll just hop on a Myth because Myth is just way better than Storm with their buffs, with their stats, with Yaga, stuff like that. There's no reason to play these schools, and that's why we see Myth being spammed all the time, because that is the glass cannon school now that Storms wanted, and KingsIsle took that away from us. My last point here is just to be the overall amount of players quitting. Now, I've seen a lot of content creators, whether they're YouTubers or not, you know, big or small, you know, Final Bastion, just everywhere, players, you know, veteran, longtime players, people I even knew just last year, high-rank players, everybody. I've just seen players dropping like flies, and again, I don't really know. I don't have like a stat page with me here, like KingsIsle for PvP, but I get the same people every day, and I don't know, man. I just it just doesn't feel good. It doesn't look good when you see everybody talking negatively about the same thing. Oh my god, stats are so bad. Stats are so bad. Stats are so bad. DPP, but clearly the DPP gap isn't big enough, or clearly what you have is just isn't working, you know? Now, I think the devs think that we don't understand the game, but when we literally play the game and see a Yaga do the same as a Rusalka, it's like, I don't know what you want me to say. I'm playing your game with your math calculations, right? With stats. I'm playing your game and I'm seeing this crap. So either like the devs are in denial or something, or that they're too ashamed to admit that something's out of order. I don't really know what's going on here. Again, I'm not trying to insult anybody, but the whole community collectively agrees stats right now are just really imbalanced, and part of that is because Shambo isn't enforced, and the lower HP schools just suck because the higher HP schools with better stats will always outtrade them, always be more forgiving to play, and always way more easier to play as well. So it's just really not good looks for Wiz right now, man. We need to get players in. We got to keep them invested, give them reasons to play. And they really need to start listening to the community with the stat problem. You know, they did it before with Merciless gear to Aeon gear, which, you know, that was controversial, I guess, but it made the game playable for a bit as a Storm and a Fire, right? Fire got Giga buffed with that audit, so Fire got some love there. But I really think they need to, you know, come full circle, listen to the community on this one, because clearly what we have right now just doesn't work. You got Storm mains, what's the saying? Jumping sail or jumping ship. I don't know what it's a boomer reference. Correct me if don't know what it is in the comments, but they're leaping off the ship. They're ditching their school because it's not what they were promised at the start of the game, and they're playing on a better school like Death or Myth or Balance because they do equal amount of damage proportionally, and they're easier to play, and they have better utility and stuff like that. So yeah, I really hope KingsIsle can figure it out, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I will see you guys on the next one. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care, y'all.